Dear Family is a podcast hosted by Rachel Steinman, a writer, an educator, and a mental health advocate. And Rachel gets us up close and personal, so we feel a strong connection, familiarity, and comfort with her guests. So settle in and join us as we search for true healing and journey with Rachel and her most interesting guests.
Hi everyone, this episode is about Prince Harry and Princess Meghan's royal family split, and it's called It's Complicated, an epic modern-day family feud. All right, let's face it, we love stories of epic family feuds and family dramas. Just think of any Shakespearean story, for example, Romeo and Juliet, or the Sopranos, or Greek tragedies, or the Godfather, or biblical stories like Cain versus Abel, or Dynasty, or HBO's Succession, and the list can go on and on. So by now, you're likely aware Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are involved in a real-life family saga as they publicly declare they're stepping back from the stronghold of the royal family and all the expectations required of them. Just search megxit on Twitter and your head will spin from the vast array of opinions about why or why not they should cut their royal family ties. And you may end up going down a rabbit hole with a litany of thoughts on Harry's true claims for financial independence. But truly, I think this is all about, in the end, mental health. Now, I'm not one to get involved in soap opera or tabloid gossip, but I did feel like this story was really worth discussing because it involves something we all deeply care about, and that's our family's mental health and well-being. I completely support the decision of Prince Harry and Princess Meghan to take a step back from the glaring spotlight, not just for their mental health, but for the future of their baby Archie, his mental health. We all can learn a lot from how Meghan and Harry, who are new parents, they understand that they need to take hold of what's most important to them, and that's their sanity. Prince Harry is a former soldier, and he's not afraid of a fight, and Meghan, she's an independent woman who made a name for herself in Hollywood on her own terms. Together, they're showing us all what a united front looks like as they tackle the establishment known as the royal family. When Meghan became a living princess by marrying her prince, the union, it felt like a modern fairy tale love story. As a pure-blooded British prince married for true love outside of his race and country of origin. Their union gave people all over the world hope that the most powerful family in the world was welcoming Meghan in to create a new lineage that was not exclusive. We sat at the edge of our seats as we watched the royal wedding and how Meghan celebrated her African American heritage. Now, like all family sagas, the pretty pictures showing impeccably styled gowns and pillbox hats, that they couldn't erase what was really happening behind closed doors. There's just no such thing as a perfect fairy tale, and we have to understand that. And even if you're a princess living in a real castle, there's no such thing as a perfect fairy tale. So like I say all the time on my podcast, again, there's also no such thing as a picture-perfect family. And every family, even the royals, they have secrets and generational trauma that gets passed down the family line unless it's addressed. The Queen initially released a statement summing up her grandson's request to split from his royal duties by saying, quote, "It's complicated," end of quote. The royal family and the traditionalists, they may want to blame Meghan, but it's wrong to do so. How can they fault Prince Harry and Princess Meghan for wanting to forgo their own path while continuing to be philanthropic, just like Princess Diana wanted? Fortunately, with our changing times, the Queen moved towards the modern royal family life by releasing a new statement giving Harry and Meghan her blessing to scale back their royal role. Now, that's amazing. And I say, let's move 2 steps forward. Even if we have to take that 1 back, we'll take it. So let's not lose sight of the importance of putting our mental health first. The trauma that Prince Harry endures from the hounding paparazzi writing false stories and following him and Meghan around just like they did with his mother, Princess Diana, it must feel like an ever-present dark shadow. Prince Harry's private battles of post-traumatic stress disorder didn't really surface after the death of his mother for 20 years. It wasn't until Prince Harry recognized the toll of his beloved mother, Princess Diana's untimely and horrific death on his mental health that he began to find his voice and his goal to live in peace and inspire others to do so. So I really admire Prince Harry for not carrying the toxic environment into his new life to pass on to his son Archie. He's cutting the generational trauma, and I applaud him for it. His mother's hounding spotlight literally killed her. Harry is doing what any husband and father should, and that is to protect the loves of his life, his wife and child, from the critical and unfair bright lens of the paparazzi and the tabloids that sadly seem to often have a racist spin. Unlike the pictures the media is painting as a royal house divided, Prince Harry stands next to his brother, Prince William, as they highlight their mental health initiative, and it's called Heads Together. And together, the royal princes spearheaded a campaign to tackle stigma and change the conversation about mental health. So together, the brothers are spreading the word and they're fundraising for innovative mental health services. But for Prince Harry, his mental health advocacy feels even more personal as he watches the media be especially cruel to his wife. So there's an author named Tara Westover, and she wrote an incredible memoir called Educated. It's been a New York Times bestseller for quite a while. And she says you can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them. And I just love that because some family dynamics, they're just toxic. And a 2-minute phone conversation can trigger a spiral of emotions that might take you back to an ugly childhood. But so just like Meghan and Harry are doing, sometimes you need to step back and protect yourself. Now, I think this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. If a family member is physically or extremely emotionally abusive, your best course of action is to remove yourself from the relationship. Now, cutting a toxic family member out of your life may not be possible. So obviously, in that case, you need to approach the situation with compassion for yourself and try to find it for your family members, because if you can forgive them, you're going to feel less emotionally detached. And I know that is really a lot to ask, but just try. And not everyone is lucky enough to have family estates to inherit, let alone the ability to enjoy a vacation or even a family meal. But what makes family so complicated, besides our literal family ties, is that our family members, they've known us the longest, and their biting criticism is often unfiltered, and they might jab you about your awkward teen looks or your past mistakes on stage or on the basketball court or in school or on a job and so on and so forth. But then again, they can also be your best friends. They may say they are teasing, but we all have felt how words can wound. And if they go the other direction and give you the silent treatment, that may feel like the most hurtful thing imaginable. And then, of course, there are those complications with money, inherited or otherwise. And just ask any estate attorney if she or he deals with family infighting, and guaranteed the answer will be a resounding yes. We don't choose the family we are born into, but we can create a full and happy life based on who we choose to love. You've all heard this before, but our best friends, and I'll add our significant others, are the family we choose. And if we're lucky enough to enjoy and get along with our families, or at least some of the family members, we're even more blessed. Just remember, you can be like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and remove yourself from a toxic family dynamic if you need to, because your mental health and mental well-being comes first. I'm wishing Prince Harry and Princess Meghan a happily ever after, but on their own terms. And I'm wishing you all love, happiness, and good mental health. This is Rachel Steinman. For more information or to contact me with any questions, comments, or guest ideas, please check out rightnowrachel.com. That's right with a W. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, and sharing, dear family. And if you found value in what you've just heard, I would love and so appreciate a great review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until next time, I wish you love, happiness, and good mental health.